Hello, Donna D'Angelo here from the Institute of Christ Consciousness, back with another installment. This time it's number 7 in our series, The Time of Revelation. This installment is called Divine Plans of Rehabilitation, Personal and Planetary. I've been sharing with you how the divine plans of planetary rehabilitation have been put in place by our universe spirit parents. And this is a massive plan that has been put in place for many, many years, probably even centuries, going back into the times of rebellion to outwork all that has been misaligned with the divine ways of life. The plan of rehabilitation affects us both personally and collectively. This is a huge, massive coordination of energies from the spiritual level through the mind circuits of how we think and feel, and even down into the physical body and all of the memory systems thereto attached. We are creatures of consciousness, and our physical bodies are the vehicles that interact with our planet and with our consciousness. So, one of the big factors in planetary rehabilitation is to outwork all of the influences from the rebellion that are tied to separation, greed, coercion, authoritarianism, everything that has taken us away from our natural sovereignty that we inherit from our divine spirit parents. So, in this time of rehabilitation, the coordination that is underway is not just happening by we humans. There are a variety of universe teachers, companions, and guides who are coming close to us within the circuits of our thoughts and feelings to feed us with higher information. We are getting back on track in understanding what divine laws are and how the universe functions. We have been so behind in our development that this massive rehabilitation plan put in place by our spirit parents is a huge compensatory effort to get us back on track. And there is an enormous amount of rehabilitation that needs to be accomplished both within our personal human energy systems and in the way the planet functions as well. One of the things that's being revealed now through revelation is our hidden history. And I do teach from the text of the Urantia book that goes into the two major planetary cataclysms that affected us: the rebellion from the divine ways of life, engineered by Lucifer and put in place by our planetary spiritual leader, Caligastia. And then about 37,500 years ago, we had a default of Adam and Eve. And I will be talking about who they are from the Urantia book perspective in our next upcoming episode. One of the major things that has to happen now is for our history to be restored to us. That which has been hidden, not only by those people in power who were loyal to the rebellion, have hidden things from us, but information was taken off of the planet by angels and other helpers so that we would not step into areas where we were not spiritually mature enough to understand the facets of information that we are now having be restored back to us. So this was done so that we would not abuse the power that we have been given. And like I've said before, I'm using the analogy of you do not give a loaded handgun to a 2-year-old who doesn't know how to use the apparatus appropriately. Our system of consciousness is extremely powerful, especially when it's aligned in the divine laws of life. However, what the rebellion did was to deviate that information, and they kept a lot of the sacred information for themselves to use as they saw fit instead of sharing it with the whole of humanity, which is the divine plan of evolution. This is for everyone, not for a select or elite few. This information is now coming back to us. There are celestial personalities who have, what you might say, retrieved the information that we need now from the cosmic libraries and are inserting it down into our memory circuits. And there are other factors and other ways in which this information is being recoded into our system of consciousness. It's like the thought forms that we think are now being recalibrated to higher light frequencies, where living light, which contains higher information, can then be imprinted upon our minds and then augmented by our indwelling spirits who know what we're ready to learn and to use for our spiritual development. Now, I'm not going to go into all of the hidden information because that will be something that we will be learning as this rehabilitation plan progresses. It's very vast, but basically, one of the major things that it's designed to do is to restore us to the full complement of DNA and RNA in our bodies and the driving forces behind those dynamics, as well as to stimulate the hidden potential that is contained within our higher selves, known by our spirits who want to seed us with those thoughts and feelings when we're ready to accept them. So it's like our operating equipment. And over the years, and I know many people use the analogy of a computer, but it's like our human operating system is now being upgraded to our divine operating system. And the information that we need to succeed in this planetary rehabilitation phase is now being shared with us so we can learn, we can use this information, make proper decisions about its use, along with our helpers and our spirits, so that we do not transgress divine laws anymore. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to instantly make the planet perfect. We are still in an evolutionary trajectory. But the majority of the cleanup is underway now, and human mind is beginning to be filled with more light. And that's one of the reasons we're seeing so many people open up to the higher powers within them. And for some people, they're still very emotionally bound by trauma or anger or unworthiness, and they're acting out. So there's quite a bit happening in this process of rehabilitation. It's if we are losing our memory tied to the old ways of rebellion and moving into the correct patterns for our lives that is now being restored because of our divine inheritance being returned to us by our divine parents and those spiritual personalities who are feeding us with this information. And the information comes in through light and color and sound and shape and coding and language. It's multidimensional and it operates throughout the whole spectrum of our human mind, spirit, mind, body continuum. The great news about this rehabilitation is that it's giving us the inner bandwidth or operating system for us to achieve our full human, spiritual, and creative potential. This is something that has never occurred on our world, and many people are being stimulated in new ways. Some people are having a change of life and certain jobs or relationships are ending because there's no more energetic parity within them. And so there are many things that are happening during this time. But if you adopt an attitude of faith and trust, trust in the divine plan being implemented, faith in our parents and your spirit to guide you, you don't have to churn your mental machine so much to try to figure out or analyze what is underway. This massive planetary rehabilitation is a divine gift of collaboration. And one of the lessons that we need to learn on this world is that the universe operates in a model of teamwork. Humans are just as necessary to the evolution of the divine plan of the universe as our spiritual beings. And there is a beautiful relationship that can develop when we open ourselves to these higher frequencies where our helpers can reach down into the circuits of our consciousness and feed us with the information we need to learn. Quieting the mind through meditation is one of the best ways to uh, apprehend this level of contact. The mind needs to be prepared and quieted, moving away from the din of our external culture that always teaches us to be busy and go, 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 be productive. This is different. This is turning within and using the power of your mental faculties to connect with your spirit and your helpers so that you can perceive the higher information. And that way, it improves how you think, the quality of your thinking, the quality of your processing becomes less fear dominated. It becomes more trusting in the fact that your divine wisdom is already in you, and all you have to do is allow the Spirit to translate that divine wisdom into a way that will make sense. It will feed how you think, your logic, and that will also improve how you put your thoughts together in a way that's more consistent with the laws of unity and love and harmony and peace. So these are some of the things that are happening at the personal level. It's very complex, and at the ICC, we do teach you how to quiet the mind and make contact with the spiritual presences around you. We offer this through personal healing sessions or by attending our weekly Wednesday evening prayer call or our twice monthly planetary transformation call, where we are guided to focus in certain ways, in certain concepts of planetary healing, personal transformation that will assist you. So I highly encourage you to join our membership so you can be apprised of our events and continue to benefit from all of the energies that occur on these calls so that you can continue to open up to the greater love dimensions within you. Now, when it comes to the planets reformation and rehabilitation, this is something that's going to take a little bit longer. Keep in mind that the more people open up to who they truly are as children of a loving divine creator, then this also impacts how the planetary mind system functions. And right now, we are in a phase where we are exchanging our old way of thinking, which has been rooted in separation and coercion, into one of cooperation and loving relationships that are based on peace, harmony, fairness, equality, and justice. This is something that will take a number of years to sort through as the consciousness of the planet shifts. then it will also affect those people who are in leadership roles in the various social institutions for them to pick up on the value system of the universe to correct the imbalances in our social institutions. One of the major things that will be happening is bringing about a greater unity consciousness of the fact that we are all members of a loving divine family. We are all children of God. You might consider that God and our divine parents, our primal creator, and then our universe parents are our mother and father, and that we are children in their universe home. Children need to learn the lessons of cooperation with their siblings, how to accomplish tasks together without conflict, how to move beyond the self centered approach of looking at yourself as a center of reality and seeing life as a whole, where we each have a very unique and important role to play. These are some of the dynamics that children learn in what you might call a healthy and positive family dynamic. The universe is based on this model. And so we are learning these very important lessons now about cooperation and collaboration with the higher realms, because there are divine models of social institutions that we would have cultivated by now through all of the spiritual help this planet was given originally. But unfortunately, because of the rebellion, we lost so much of those divine plans of social reform or social evolution that now this has to be imparted back into our minds through much help. Spiritual personalities of the higher dimensions, and then we have our off planet brothers and sisters who are here to also help us reform our social institutions. Now, the reform of the social institutions is a very, very major undertaking, and it is not going to happen within a few short years. But what is in place now is the blueprint or the template for what those social institutions can evolve into. We have 12 groups of seraphim or angels who are all charged with different levels of social reform. Some work in the levels of business and industry, or education of youth, or the cultivation of spiritual principles. There's a group called the Angels of the Churches that work within the religious institutions of the planet. There are angels of progress who are conserving not only that which is from the past that has value, but opening us up to new information. One of the things that we do on our Wednesday night prayer call is to collaborate with these 12 groups of seraphim, where we are relating to them of our wishes of what we want to see within the social institutions, to have a value system that is based on truth and goodness and beauty, love, peace, fairness, and equality. You might say we're moving from the control of the social institutions by a very few who are authoritarian and coercive and keeping us in a state of fear to the way of the heart. We are learning how to become more heart centered, more loving and patient and kind and tolerant of other people, especially to recognize that everyone has a right to his or her opinion and needs to be treated with respect. This is something that we're in the very, very intense throes right now, where we see many people just acting in such irrational ways because they are so full of pain of what has happened, and they need tremendous understanding and they need time to let go of what is hurting them, and we can act as way showers from them. And so we're moving from the profit motive value system of our social institutions to what you might call a more sharing or altruistic dynamic in how our social institutions are operating. So, for example, one of the things that we will see in the near future is more of a parity in the way wealth is distributed on the planet so that no one lacks for anything material and people are free to cultivate their spiritual purpose and potential because their physical needs are met. This is something that has, of course, not happened on our planet before, but we are moving in that direction. The first thing that has to happen is the mindset that we need more economic parity to unfold so that the new forms and the new systems can form around that, but they're based on divine principles. And that is what has to happen first. The divine ways, you might call, or the divine information comes in from the higher levels, starts integrating into our thoughts and feelings, and then we start to manifest that because we have better information with which to make decisions and implement the information that we are receiving from the higher realms. So, the other factor that's happening at this time with our planetary rehabilitation is that we're moving from being externally focused to divinely and internally inspired by our spirits and our helpers. The realm of our consciousness is where we pick up the information. Our bodies are the vehicles that will manifest that information through our efforts, our labors in doing the work that is required to build these higher social institutions based on the divine principles of the universe. And so our off-planet brothers and sisters and planetary seraphim and other helpers are providing us the means to pick up on this information. They are seeding us with the higher, what you might call the divine principles of life and how the social institutions function at the higher realms. Because the purpose of our world is to evolve to a heavenly culture where there's a unified language, people are living in peace and harmony and love with one another. We have economic parity. There's no more war. There's no more poverty. There's no more illness. And this is what you might call heaven on earth. The Urantia book uses the term the era of light and life. And we are steadily progressing to that culmination point, which will occur at some point in the future. The information that is now being given to us, and many people are tuning into a wide variety of podcasts for information. And while this is fine to do and research for a while on your own, it does not replace your ability to turn within and check in with your spirit or your helpers and ask for information. This is using our minds in a new way. We have such incredible elasticity in our consciousness. We were designed to grow in higher concepts, broader concepts, looking at reality from a higher perspective. Our minds are fully equipped to handle this information, but we must let go of the fear, unworthiness, guilt, and shame that has been so foisted upon our energy systems. And that energy, those ideas or those concepts act as fields of interference. They are black or gray forms sitting within our consciousness, and they do impact how we think and feel. The big news is that all of these circuits that contain this information, these thought forms and feelings, this is what is being corrected now. And the massive information pouring in from the universe with new coding and new language is not only impacting us physically, but it's also working in our thoughts and feelings to help us think according to the way our spirits do, which act as thought adjusters so that we are thinking more in terms of the way the Creator thinks. And this is one of the great alignments of this time to come into sync with how our Creator wants you to experience life through love, through peace, through joy, and the expression of who you truly are. Whew, I've shared a lot with you today, and so I think I'm going to leave it here. We will be discussing this more in our upcoming webcasts beginning in January of 2026. I'll be going into more discussion about how our social institutions are being reformed and also talk about more about how our bodies are being healed through this very important time of rehabilitation. I'm so grateful that you've spent this time with me, and I hope it's been helpful to provide a higher context for what you are experiencing. Let go of anger, fear, judgment. Let go of everything that doesn't serve your well being and the love that you deserve. Our Creator parents love us so much and they trust us so much that they have given us this divine plan of rehabilitation to construct along with their help and the help of all of our wonderful universe brothers and sisters and planetary angels that are helping us now. There's so much assistance at this time. So why not open up to your divine inner sources and spiritual help? You have everything to gain, and the only thing you lose is fear and unworthiness and all the other things of negativity that hold you back. So please like this video and do sign up for membership at the Institute of Christ Consciousness on our website, www.institutechristconsciousness.org, so you can stay apprised of our events and join our webcast when we begin in January. They'll be held every month, and I believe I'm going to be doing them on a Sunday around noon. So I hope this will be a convenient time for many people to join us and get all of these upgrades and information that are now filling into the planet. I send you all my love and my wishes for you to grow in happiness and peace and the fulfillment of who you truly are as a child of God. Thank you so much, and I'll be back next time with another installment of the Time of Revelation. Goodbye for now.